I've been filming some B-roll near some stagnant water, and I've been attacked brutally. I've been mauled by evil demon vampire mosquitoes, and I'm covered in bites. I'm so itchy. My legs are covered in toothpaste because I read on the internet that you're supposed to put toothpaste on mosquito bites. I think someone was having a laugh because it's done. It's made my legs very minty, but that's about it. Now, I've got minty legs. I'm not going to show you my minty legs, but they're very, very minty. I can smell my legs from here, which is not a phrase I ever thought I would hear myself saying on the internet. I've been mauled by mosquitoes. I don't like it. I'm very butthurt. Although, interestingly, my butt is one of the few places where I haven't been bitten. Anyway, let's get cracking. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name's Kit, and this is my world. Thank you very much for joining me. This is a special episode. It's a rush job, and the reason for that is that last night I discovered that I had been tagged by my good friend Kari at Very Literary Kari, and she's created her own tag. It's an original tag by Kari, and I got tagged. It's an honour, it's exciting, I'm delighted, and I just couldn't wait to get cracking. So, although I've already got a tag filmed, edited, uploaded and scheduled for Tuesday, which is the 20 bookish questions tag, I'm going to squeeze another one in today. It's Friday today, and my goal is to film, edit and upload the tag all in a single day. It's possible, but I don't do it that often. So, as I say, it's a rush job. I hope it's not too tatty. Anyway, this is a tag, as I say, by Very Literary Kari. Kari is an excellent speaker. She speaks very intelligently, articulately, and enthusiastically about all things Kennedy related and conspiracy related. So obviously this is not my particular field of expertise, but nevertheless, I'm going to have a go at the JFK Book Tag. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Question number 1. Tenuvus and one more. Rose and Joe Sr. had a boat called Tenuvus to signify the 10 members of the Kennedy clan. With the birth of Ted, the family named another boat One More. What book with a large cast of characters would you recommend? Well, I'll be quick because I know you're sick of hearing about it, but the entire Devery series by Catherine Kerr has a humongous cast of characters. There are many, many central characters, and all of them get reincarnated multiple times throughout the books, so there are all of those characters to read about as well, plus a vast cast of peripheral and secondary characters. So overall, the Devery series of books by Catherine Kerr has a huge cast, and in order to keep track of them, I had to actually make a chart with all of their names and their various dates of relevance. An honourable mention also must go to the books by Raymond E. Feist, the Midkemia books, of which there are many. These also include the Empire trilogy, which you're sick of hearing about. I haven't spoken so much about the Midkemia books. This is Rise of a Merchant Prince, Book 2 of the Serpent War saga. The reason I picked this one up is because I find this particularly interesting and exciting, because it focuses on a character who is a merchant, and so unlike a lot of fantasies that involve warriors and sorcerers, this is about the mercantile business. The guy opens up a coffee shop and runs a very successful business empire. So that's really interesting to read about. But there are lots and lots of characters in this and all of the Midkemia books by Raymond E. Feist. So I'm going for Midkemia and also Devery. This is Dark Spell Book 2 of the Devery series. Question number 2, PT-109. I think this relates to Kennedy's war history in the Second World War. What is your favourite book featuring a harrowing survival, rescue or war story? Well, again, I've spoken about this a lot, so I'm not going to bang on about it too much, but it's asking for a favourite, and there's only really one that I can mention. Outlander. Outlander is a stunning book, a stunning series of books by Diana Gabaldon, and in the first book, in Outlander, there are particularly harrowing scenes of male rape and torture. One of the main male romantic characters, Jamie Fraser, gets captured and taken to Wentworth Prison, where he is repeatedly raped and tortured. And his beloved Claire Randall Fraser, she busts into the prison and attempts to save him. It doesn't quite go according to plan, and there is a certain amount of help and involvement from other characters like Murtagh and the rest of the gang. But I'm going to give Claire the main credit because it's just lovely to see a female lead rescuing a male lead. It's kind of a nice reversal. The scenes of male rape and torture are quite harrowing. Obviously, there is an excellent survival story that grows out of that. The rescue itself is exciting, and it leads to lots of war stuff. So overall, I would say that Outlander ticks all of those boxes, and I absolutely love it. Question number 3, Addison's disease. What is your favourite book that deals with disease or the medical field? Well, again, I'm going to say Outlander. The character of Claire Randall Fraser starts off as a World War II nurse, but when she travels 200 years back in time, she becomes a healer. She uses her nursing knowledge from the 1940s to essentially do extraordinary feats of surgery and medical prowess, saving people's lives in ways that 200 years in the past seem borderline miraculous. So the Outlander books are full of medical stuff. And also, I'm going to have to mention the Devery books again. One of the main characters, Nevian, is a healer. He's a herb man. There's lots of herb lore throughout the Devery books, lots of healing, lots of pestilence and disease. And so Outlander and Devery both have strong elements of disease and medicine involved. Question number 4, Camelot. What real or imagined dynasty would you like to read more about? Well, I'm going to say the Redgraves. This is a very famous British acting family, and they go back generations. It's a huge dynasty, or dynasty, as Americans would probably prefer to hear it pronounced. The Redgraves are an enormous family, and they're all theatrical, starting in the 1870s with Roy Redgrave, who married Daisy Scudamore. Those were an actor and an actress. That marriage brought us Michael Redgrave, which brought us Vanessa Redgrave, who you're almost certain to have heard of, Corin Redgrave, her brother, and Lynn Redgrave, her sister. Vanessa Redgrave married Tony Richardson and gave us Natasha Richardson, Jolie Richardson, and Natasha Richardson, of course, married Liam Neeson before she died. They gave us Michael Richardson. Jolie Richardson and Tim Bevan gave us Daisy Bevan. Corin Redgrave gave us Gemma Redgrave. The list goes on. It's a huge family tree and a very exciting and interesting British theatrical and movie family. So I would certainly like to read more about them. Question number 5. High Hopes. Frank Sinatra re-recorded this song for Kennedy's 1960 presidential campaign. If you ran for office, what would your campaign song be? Well, I'm going to say Tomorrow from Annie, because it's optimistic, which kind of is the opposite of me, but also it makes me happy. Briefly, while I'm listening to that song and indeed singing along, it makes me happy, it makes me optimistic for the future, it makes me think good thoughts, it returns me to the innocent days of my youth before I became bitter and twisted and jaded and cynical and all of those things that make me very unpresidential. So I'm going to help myself along with the song Tomorrow from Annie. Oh, and also, in the movie, the president himself sings it, so why not? Question number 6. We choose to go to the moon. Name the last book you read that was set in space. That's easy because I don't read very many books set in space. But there is this one, Apollo 13. This is a fabulous book. It's written by Jim Lovell and Jeffrey Kluger, and it tells the whole story of Houston, we have a problem. The failed attempt of Apollo 13 and its crew to reach the moon. There was a big explosion, and basically it became a rescue mission. And so the lunar landing for Apollo 13 didn't happen, but instead a much more exciting adventure ensued. And by the way, I find this stuff terrifying. The idea of being floating around in space with nothing but a few microns of baking foil between me and the vacuum of space. Absolutely terrifying. I can't imagine anything worse. I would love to go into space. Give me a ticket. I want to go. Question number 7. Coconut. The coconut shell JFK carved a rescue message on during the PT-109 incident was encased in plastic and used as a paperweight in the Oval Office. Do you have any neat desk items or mementos? Well, I have all sorts of things that could possibly be desk items. They're certainly mementos. I don't generally keep a lot of clutter on my desk because my desk is covered with laptops and mice or mouses and telephony equipment and stuff. So what space is left I try and keep clear. But I would like to show you this rather attractive lapis cat. You may have seen it sitting on the shelf behind me. It's kind of dusty. I picked this up in Egypt along with lots of cat sculptures. I've got many cat statues, all of them picked up in Egypt, which makes them very special to me because I had the time of my life when I was in Egypt. But this is possibly the most beautiful of them because it's lapis and it's just lovely. And it's very smooth and nice to stroke as well. Question number 8. Scandal. What personal or political scandal would you like to read more about? Well, the Thorpe affair. This is a real-world scandal that occurred in Britain in the 1960s, I believe. The Thorpe affair concerned the Liberal leader Jeremy Thorpe and his alleged homosexual lover, Norman Scott. Norman Scott was a scumbag, he was a scrounger, he was a whiner, he was a loathsome individual. And Jeremy Thorpe, bless him, kept trying to help Scott with all his difficulties. He gave him money, he got him jobs, he did all sorts of things to help him, and Scott just became more and more bitter and blamed Thorpe for all his shortcomings as a human being, and consistently blackmailed Thorpe with outing him as a homosexual in an era where that was a very bad thing to be. So eventually, allegedly, Thorpe plotted to murder Scott, and he actually hired a hitman who bungled the job, and there was a big trial. So this was a huge scandal in Britain, one of the top political leaders in a homosexual relationship attempting to murder his homosexual lover. It's a fascinating and juicy bit of scandal. There was a drama made about it called A Very English Scandal, starring Hugh Grant, and in my opinion, it's one of Grant's best performances. It's magnificent. It's a fabulously well-written, well-directed and well-acted 2-part or 3-part drama. 2 parts? 3 parts? I'm not sure. So anyway, I know about the Thorpe affair from the drama, but I would really like to read more about it. And the drama, of course, is based on a book, The Thorpe Affair, so that's the book that I would like to read. Question number 9. Peace Corps. What book made you a better person? Well, I'm going to say Wind in the Willows. I love this book. This is a childhood favourite. It's a magnificent book. I can't praise it highly enough. It's just so well written, so delightful, so bucolic and pastoral and charming and quaint and English. And it's got lots of amazing characters, but 2 of the characters, Mole and Ratty, are characters that I aspired to be like because they're both kind. They're incredibly kind. They're gentle. They had a lovely friendship. They were companions, and I admired their friendship. I always wished that I could have a companion in the way that Mole and Ratty were companions, and I just really wanted to be kind like them. Question number 10. Conspiracy. What are your thoughts on the Kennedy assassination? A swirling miasma of confusion, irritation and frustration, I guess. As a non-American and as someone who has done zero reading on the subject, I've seen a few films. I saw the JFK film by Oliver Stone, didn't think much of it, and I've seen various documentaries over the years, and also the Stephen King thing with the numbers. I can't remember the numbers with the date. It was pretty good, but I don't remember much. I just don't know enough. I must plead ignorance. It's annoying when ignorant people spout opinions left, right and centre, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that I find the whole thing confusing and slightly irritating and frustrating, because clearly there was some sort of conspiracy and cover-ups happened afterwards. So it's all a little bit swirly, and I don't cope well with swirliness. And on that note, I think I'll call it a day. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you haven't already, you know what to do. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, comment, do all the good stuff, and I will see you next time. See you later.